Number 10. Arceus. Arceus is believed to be the oldest Pokemon around, and is said to have been born from an egg before the universe existed. According to myth, Arceus is basically a god who in essence created much of the Pokemon world we have come to know. Arceus is also referred to as such as the original one. Its super ancient origins make it both mystical and terrifying. Considering it is potentially a Pokemon who created most of the world, its power can be expected to be immense and obviously intimidating. Number 9. Diancie. Diancie might seem cute considering it's a rock and fairy type who is known for creating diamonds, but it also is covered in diamonds, making it one of the toughest Pokemon around. It's also a mythical Pokemon who appears to have been created as the result of a mutation. It's said that Diancie came into existence from Carbink, which mutated into the new Pokemon, creating it. Mutations can often be horrifying to witness, and although both Pokemon are cute and pretty, imagining that painful process of shapeshifting and growing diamonds can be scary. Not only that, but Diancie is the only mythical Pokemon that is yet known to be capable of mega evolving, meaning it can become relatively large for a fairy type and even more powerful. Before we move on to that next spooky Pokemon spot, I want to say thank you so much for being here and watching this video. If you love learning more about potentially terrifying Pokemon, let us know by giving this video a thumbs up. Those likes really do help us, so thank you. Number 8. Jirachi.
Da Vinci?
While Jirachi isn't necessarily terrifying to gaze upon and is known for granting wishes, it doesn't mean you should feel completely safe around this mythical cutie. Jirachi is also a Pokemon that only wakes for 7 days once every 1,000 years, making it super rare but also kinda scary. More scary to run into, of course, if it is asleep. Jirachi, you see, will fight to protect itself while asleep, so if you disturb a sleeping Jirachi, you would definitely want to watch out, especially considering that mythical Pokemon are also known for being some of the most powerful Pokemon around.
And at 7, Kyurem. Kyurem is an absolute beast. This Pokemon looks insane. The design of this Pokemon is really what makes me love Black and White and their sequels. This design is some of the peak Pokemon design. Not this generation, since there is literally an ice cream cone that evolves to get more scoops and ice cream cones, but Kyurem is absolutely nuts. This Pokemon radiates freezing energy, so much so that due to a leak, the Pokemon's body became frozen. It is said to have power that exceeds that of both Reshiram and Zekrom, but the cold keeps it at bay. According to legend, Kyurem used to eat Pokemon and humans if they were found outside at night, so we can assume that he hates everything. At least he ate them until he ended up getting himself frozen solid. This Pokemon is also able to fuse with either Zekrom or Reshiram, making it the first fusion Pokemon. And even these Pokemon are terrifying. Sure, you can't have it without one or the other, but holy crap, this thing is haunting my nightmares tonight.
Number 6. Marshadow. Marshadow is pretty scary when you think of how it learns and gains its attacks and abilities. It travels through being shadows, learning how to copy their movements and gaining the power of those attacks and movements via the Pokemon or human shadow that it is traveling through. It is a ghost and fighting type Pokemon, a deadly dual combination. While using a unique Z crystal known as the Marshadium Z crystal, it also wields the move Soul Stealing 7-star Strike. So if you'd like to hold on to your soul and the power of your shadow, I would just stay far away from Marshadow.
Halfway through number 5, Spectrier. The only form of undead or spooky horse I want in my life is Arvac or Shadowmere, okay? Spectrier is a ghost type legendary introduced in Sword and Shield's Crown Tundra DLC. This Pokemon on its own is spooky, but you know, since it's a ghost of a horse. But using the Reins of Unity, it can combine with Calyrex to become Shadow Rider Calyrex. Pokemon literally has its own version of the Headless Horseman now. Well, maybe it's not headless, but it's certainly damn close. This combination of Spectrier and Calyrex is damn strong. With special attack stack of 165 and speed of 150, this dude is going to speed right through you, creating a magical hole as it goes through, leaving you as another ghost to wander in the Pokemon world. Maybe you'll become a Yamask, forced to carry around your own face and crying whenever you see it because you know that's also a thing. Yet you don't mess with the forces of death itself.
Number 4. Hoopa. Hoopa has 2 different forms, one of which is more mischievous looking, kinda cute, the other of which looks like something straight out of a nightmare. Hoopa Contained is fine. It looks just like a sneaky but kinda cute little ghost psychic type with hoops. Yay hoops. But Hoopa Unbound is a monstrosity. It has multiple clawed hands and arms that levitate around its body but aren't actually connected, a hole in its chest, 2 feet, a tail, and a face with razor sharp teeth and horns. Hoopa uses its rings to actually create dimensional portals which allow it to travel to alternate worlds and steal treasures that catch its eye. Yeah, a psychic type that is also able to manipulate space-time is something horrifying for sure, regardless of its form. Basically, if you're a Pokemon that can manipulate space-time, we should be afraid of you, in my opinion.
And at 3, Genesect. Genesect? More like genocide. That monster is unstable and should be put in the Pokemon graveyard with the others. They were already temperamental to begin with, but their leader, the Red Genesect, is ruthless. He's the one who started the original Pokemon War, the one that claimed the lives of millions of Pokemon. The Pokemon who put their lives on the line should be the ones who remain, not these goddamn unhinged monstrosities. They've nearly leveled all of Castelia City at this point. The psychopathic group led by their leader won't let any human live. I've managed to hide inside the debris of one of the buildings, but the moment they suspect something, I believe it will be the end. They don't seem to speak aloud, not even saying their name. I'm guessing it's some form of psychic communication, or something of the electronic equivalent, since they look like machines. Oh no. While writing that last line, I moved a piece of wall, probably around the size of a medium rock, but that was enough for the Genesect to hear.
Number 2, Deoxys. Psychic Pokemon always freak me out because they can just get in your head, but this one is extra spooky because it was transformed into what it is today after being exposed to a virus from outer space. It was the first Pokemon to introduce the concept of forms, which not only can alter the Pokemon's appearance, but their stats as well. And Deoxys was also the first mythical Pokemon to not have all even stats at 100. Instead, its 600 base total was less evenly distributed, meaning it was even more powerful in regards to certain areas. Mostly Deoxys' shape changing and its arms terrify me, especially in its normal form. Number 1, Darkrai. Darkrai is about as frightening as its name sounds. It's a dark type Pokemon with a shadowy tattered cloak and technically no legs. Though it does happen to have the ability to grow thin stilts at will, which is even more terrifying if I'm being honest. It appears to be made up of living shadows as well, adding to its dark and menacing appearance. Not only is its appearance frightening, but its abilities are also terrifying. It can haunt your dreams and basically give you nightmares as a result. It's also implied that Darkrai is attracted to nightmares and in fact feeds off of dream energy. Not only that, but this is a mythical Pokemon who is capable of human speech and in fact feeds off of dream energy. So this is like some sort of Freddy Pokemon basically haunting your nightmares with its no legs and its little stilts. Not only that, but this is a mythical Pokemon who is also capable of human speech, which is weirdly creepy for a Pokemon. I don't like the idea of a Pokemon that talks to me because I'm just so used to them saying their own name. And that's it.
And at 10, Dialga. Dialga is known as a deity in Sinnoh myths, which means that people consider it to be a god, which makes sense since it's a part of the creation trio of Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, and we all know how I feel about Pokemon gods. However, it's what this Pokemon is a master of that really makes Dialga terrifying. They're the master of time. Dialga is able to warp time either by speeding it up, slowing it down, or just stopping it. Yeah, this Pokemon can stop time. It can also time travel to the past or the future, and we all know how dangerous messing with time can be. Of course, Dialga wouldn't do that, but it did send Ash and friends back in time in the movie Arceus and the Jewel of Life. And if they made any mistake, butterfly effect. We've seen it in all other forms of media that have to do with time travel. Back to the Future, The Flash, Avengers Endgame. Every bit of media that has people messing with time ends up having an effect. And this wouldn't be any different. That's terrifying. He didn't even care. It was just like, hey, passed. And at 9, Reshiram. Well, Reshiram is more like the little toddler that didn't get its way and thus throws a tantrum. Because when Reshiram's emotions surge, its tail lights up with a fiery glow and goes into overdrive mode. And with this jet engine shaped tail, this thing can burn everything in its wake. It uses its tail to fly at high speeds, but it can also send flames from said tail into the air to incinerate everything around it. Reshiram can straight up start the Pokepocalypse if it wanted to, or if it was just having a bad day. Not only is it capable of burning down your house, but it has before. Reshiram is said to have burnt down entire kingdoms in the past, and by flaring its tail, it's able to control the weather by literally moving the world's atmosphere. That's insane and horrifying to think that a Pokemon has so much control over life and death, and it's just because of its tail. And this isn't even the worst one. Also, by the way, if you guys are enjoying the video, please do us a favor and hit the like button. It really helps us out and can help this video be seen by even more people, and we get to make more fun stuff like this. And at 8, Volcanion. I've always seen Volcanion as scary, ever since the day the first fire and water type Pokemon was announced. However, after reading up on this dude, this fear only grew. Volcanion famously has that ring above its head, and those are actually like high pressure hoses that he can control individually. However, instead of water, these shoot steam. You may be thinking, sure, it's just steam, but it can shoot out steam at such a high pressure that it actually has the ability to blow mountains away. Not just move them, but blow them away. Mount Everest actually used to be in BC. Not only is this Pokemon extremely powerful, but it also hates humans, as shown in the movie Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel, where it targeted the Azoth Kingdom to retrieve Magearna, a man-made Pokemon. This guy can blow away mountains and hates humans? That sounds like death to me, brother. No thank you.
Number 7. Mew. Mew might look super cute, but let's just acknowledge how powerful this Pokemon is and how terrifying it would be to face in battle. Mew is believed to contain within it the DNA of every single Pokemon ever to exist, making it capable of learning and using any attack. Every single attack you have ever seen in the game, Mew is capable of throwing at you, which if you catch or befriend a Mew is a great thing, but if you are Mew's enemy, is pretty horrifying. Not only that, but Mew is also capable of sneaking up on you or past you very effectively. It is one of the most elusive Pokemon because it can turn invisible, which means Mew could actually be watching you at all times, just waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Mew could be watching you right now. You could be watching me right now. Mew, you in here?
And at 6, Zekrom. While being incinerated is scary, at least Reshiram looks majestic and like it wouldn't hurt a fly. Zekrom, on the other hand, will annihilate your kingdom with lightning and look like he'd do that and then steal your girl. Zekrom's tail emits an anti-gravity field which it uses to fly, but like, do you know the implications of that? You walk near Zekrom and you start floating higher and higher until you can't breathe anymore. It's like that cursed difficulty that Fundy made for Minecraft. This is some of the craziest crap that you can think of, and it's in a Pokemon game. This guy can summon multiple thunderstorms at once in one area. What the hell does that even mean? There could be like 5 thunderstorms at once? That would cause a load of panic, and like, how does that even work? Would it just turn into a tornado? Would it cause a load of destruction? Probably, because he can destroy a whole kingdom with lightning and has done so before. Halfway through number 5, Pokemon. Pokemon is so addictive. It's like the most illicit substance on the planet, but it's legal. It's like PETA and the devil had a baby and then they turned it into a reality. I have plenty of Pokemon. I can't always keep them in their ball, but whenever they're out, they seem happy. They love to go outside and run around in the backyard. Luckily, I don't have any flying types, otherwise they might fly away. My parents think I have too many Pokemon, but you gotta catch them all, right? Even Pokemon Control thinks I have too many. They keep trying to take them away, but whenever they do, I go back, get my Pokemon back, and grab another one while I'm at it too. It's like Pokemon Control is Team Rocket and I'm Ash. I tried putting a Pokemon in my PC a while ago, but it didn't work. It just started smelling funny, so I threw it out. Pokemon Control can take that one. My parents seem concerned, but can't they just see that I'm having fun with my life? Gotta catch them all. And at 4, Mewtwo. Mewtwo was first seen as an evil Pokemon who hated humans, but honestly, he just wanted to be left alone. Same. However, in the movie Detective Pikachu, we see Mewtwo get corrupted and controlled by Howard Clifford, who transfers his consciousness into Mewtwo and uses him to attack Rhyme City, fusing Pokemon with their trainers, like Mewtwo had done for Pikachu and Tim's father. Mewtwo is the original most powerful Pokemon. The main goal of the original Pokemon games was to eventually catch Mewtwo after becoming the champion, and the fact that this movie proves that one of the most powerful and beloved Pokemon, at least by community standards, can be controlled and used in such a way is terrifying. This is really only talking about the Detective Pikachu universe, but still, nuts and one of the craziest things that we've seen to date in any form of Pokemon universe game.
And at 3, Palkia. Palkia is one of the first Pokemon ever. Created by Arceus along with Dialga and Giratina, it's a member of the Creation Trio and controls the aspect of space. This motherfucker is 13 feet tall and nearly 800 pounds, and I'm supposed to think he looks cuddly? This guy has razor blades that stretch from his pelvis to his tail. He has the face of my nightmares, but it's very similar to the faces of Dialga and Giratina. He's Pokemon 484, but he should be Pokemon 666. Why is he water type? That makes no sense. Just let him be dragon type. Those wings are like blades as well, like the folding fans that Katana uses in Mortal Kombat, but 30 times bigger and attached to this dude's back. He will come flying at you, then cut you right down the middle with those bad boys. And not to mention his toes. And I thought my feet were bad. Oh my god. And this monster has a spike for a heel that looks like he's wearing some stilettos of death. Yeah.
And at 2, Yveltal. Yveltal basically has control over death. It has the power to absorb life energy by spreading its wings and tail feathers. And in the main anime series episode The Legend of X, Y, and Z, Yveltal was shown turning a whole kingdom to stone, including people and Pokemon. And when it reaches the end of its life, it kills everything. Yeah, according to the Pokemon Y and Alpha Sapphire Pokedex, when its life comes to an end, it absorbs the life energy of every living thing and turns into a cocoon once more. Yeah, if this Pokemon dies, everything dies. And apparently, it's It's inevitable. Sure, the destruction may be contained to the Kalos region, but even then, literally anything and everything from that region will die. What the hell? That's insane. That's like the Pokemon equivalent of Pompeii. The utter destruction of the world when Yveltal's life comes to an end? How is that not scary? I don't know how I didn't mention this in part 1, okay? But I should've, okay? And for that reason, I'm out. Finally, in at number 1, Necrozma. Necrozma, in addition to looking terrifying, is just like the physical embodiment of a black hole in the Pokemon universe. It's pitch black, which is the result of impurities that built up inside the Pokemon during its deep slumber. It also absorbs light, and once it absorbs enough light, it can ultra burst to become Ultra Necrozma, a colossal dragon of pure light energy. It can also fuse with Solgaleo and Lunala, making even more terrifying versions of the Sun and Moon mascots. Necrozma originates from deep space and is able to open and travel through ultra wormholes. It had the ability to give light, but was injured and partially broke, thus resulting in the spread of crystals capable of activating Pokemon's ability to use Z moves. This Pokemon is the reason we can use Z moves, and he just looks horrifying. Necrozma is my sleep paralysis demon.
And at 10, Regieleki. Regieleki was introduced into the Legendary Titans by the Crown Tundra DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield. This Reggie is said to have the strongest power of any electric-type Pokemon, and was sealed away due to how dangerous it was. This dude even looks menacing as all hell. The man is shooting electricity from 3 different places on its body, enough to fry anyone within a 10-foot radius. He is capable of generating all the Galar region's electricity, according to the Shield Dex. And according to Sword, if you remove the rings on his body, you will unleash this Pokemon's full power. Yeah, he ain't even at 100% yet, it's like Shaggy. So needless to say, this dude is a freaking monster, and not the pocket kind. You thought the 10,000 volt ghost from Scooby-Doo was bad? Regieleki is like 20 times that on an off day. And at 9, Thundurus. Thundurus is one of the weather trio from the Unova region, introduced as a wandering legendary and annoying as hell to catch. This man is a freaking genie that controls lightning and storms and is a prankster. This guy will strike you with a bolt of lightning for fun. He will laugh his ass off while frying your home with constant lightning strikes. And if that's not bad enough, this guy's Therian form is whack. It looks like a genie took some form of illicit substance and became a freak. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. This guy must be juicy. And is it a coincidence that these first 2 are electric types? No, this guy can destroy an entire group of people by just electrocuting some water. Oh, and he can fly and can change routes so fast that he breaks the sound barrier. So, saying this guy, especially in his Therian form, isn't scary is an injustice, and I will execute you. And at 8, Galarian Moltres. Normal Moltres looks fine to me. They're red and basically a dragon, whatever. But Galarian Moltres is a terrifying abomination. Introduced in Sword and Shield's Crown Tundra DLC, this regional variant of Moltres is black with pink flames, talons, belly, and face. This is freaking nuts. The dude has 2 tails, for God's sake. Not to mention it's now dark and flying type, not fire and flying. Or hell, even dark and fire would make more sense. I know it has wings, so it should be flying, but Gyarados is also a flying type, or at least it was, so we can ignore what would make sense. Looking at Galarian Moltres, you cannot tell me this beast isn't scary. This thing looks like a pterodactyl. It's gonna swoop in and carry me away while I'm at a cafe eating breakfast before the day of mass murdering Pokemon in the wild for the purposes of gaining experience points. I can feel the flames already and they don't feel good. You wanna know what makes a fire magenta like that? Potassium sulfate and potassium nitrate. Potassium, you know, the stuff that reacts violently with water that the teacher shows you but says they shouldn't show you so you can all think they're cool. Yeah, since that stuff can react with your skin or even just the moisture in the air, that's a no thank you, sir! And at 7, Hoopa. Hoopa and I were friends. I thought we were best buds. There's no words to describe the kind of connection we had. That's until I died, at least. In the Pokemon world, some kids who die end up turning into Pokemon. I myself got lost in the woods while out on a walk with Hoopa, so I ended up becoming a Phantom. If I was a Kadabra, I'd be able to let Hoopa know who I am, but they can't understand a Phantom. After I died though, Hoopa kinda lost it. It changed to its unbound form since it was no longer by my side and terrorized as many people as possible, even some of the search parties for me. I'm starting to worry about what it will do next, and if they ever cared about me in the first place, or if it knew what would happen in that forest. It's been 10 years now, and Hoopa is with another boy. They came back into my forest. You'd think that Hoopa would avoid that since what happened last time, but then I see it smirk. It knows what's about to happen. Hoopa quickly opens a wormhole and heads through, but not before looking at me, now a Trevenant, and winking. And at 6, Heatran. Heatran is a fire steel type Pokemon introduced in Diamond and Pearl, and this guy is freaky as hell. He may not look like it, but with those legs and the ability to climb up walls, this guy is basically a giant lava spider, and I'm not okay with it. This is one of, if not the only legendary Pokemon to have a biological sex, even if the Pokemon doesn't have an egg group. Sure, it may be low to the ground at 5'7", but I know people who are shorter than that, and that's honestly terrifying. Especially when at only 5'7", thanks to all the steel, he also weighs in at nearly 1,000 pounds. He's actually heavier than Regigigas, who is only 420 kilograms, blaze it. This guy is 430 kilos. His abilities are Flash Fire, which makes fire actually heal him, and Flame Body, meaning that it's possible to catch on fire while even being close to this guy. Why? Why does this have to be a thing? First, you make me need to catch a giant lava spider, but then you also make it possible for it to set me on fire with one touch, or crush me with one leg, and make him around my height? This guy is like 3 inches shorter than me. Hell no. Not okay.
Number 5, Volcanion. Volcanion is fearsome to look at. It is believed to have an organ within it that runs so hot it can actually convert water into steam, which it then uses for its attacks. You would not want to be a victim of one of those attacks. Scalding steam is both painful and mutilating. Volcanion is also believed to have such powerful attacks that it is supposedly capable of leveling a mountain by itself. A whole mountain! It also is intimidating to look at. Even while on all fours, it stands at 5 feet tall and has a ring that runs over its back, which is blowholes of sorts that it uses in its attack to blast super hot steam at its opponents. Steam.
And at 4, Groudon. Groudon isn't the scariest of the weather trio, I'll admit it, but I've already used Rayquaza, and if you think about it, this dude can cause droughts wherever he goes, potentially ruining all crop yields all over the world. Sure, Kyogre could probably reverse it, but Kyogre is limited to water, whereas Groudon can walk on land, where all the crops really are. Not only that, but he's 11'6" and over 2,000 pounds, and his primal form, he gets the ability Desolate Land, which I don't think I need to explain why that's bad. He also grows 5 feet and gains 200 pounds. Groudon is a freaking beast, and if left unchecked, he will wipe out humanity. You know the apocalypse stories or games where like the land is all ruined, cracked, and there's hardly any water? That's because of Groudon. There is no telling the sheer amount of destruction he could cause just because someone woke him up, and that's kind of my energy. And Team Magma just goes ahead and wakes him up, right? Why is it that the evil team always plans on using the potentially world-ending Pokemon for their own gain? Do they not realize how monumentally stupid that is?
And at 3, Rayquaza. Rayquaza is a beast of a Pokemon. This guy in his original form is 23 feet long and weighs 455 pounds. While he is meant to soothe the other members of the Weather Trio, the territorial nature of this Pokemon means that it will really attack indiscriminately. In the Pokemon movie Destiny Deoxys, Rayquaza attacks Deoxys for invading its territory, even though it was just looking for its friend, another Deoxys, and was not invading territory at all. But also, the shiny of this Pokemon is terrifying. A giant flying snake that is nearly impossible to see against the night sky because it's black with only a couple yellow spots? No thank you. Rayquaza also attacked the rocket ship that Ash and his friends and Team Rocket were on in the anime episode Where No Togepi Has Gone Before, which is really scary since, you know, they all could have died, but they have plot armor so they didn't. Oh, and Rayquaza had a battle with Deoxys that caused the meteor to head towards the Alola region. Kartana was able to cut it up, but if it hadn't, Alola would have been destroyed. Yeah, that's a no from me.
And ultimately in at number 2, Type Null. Type Null is known as the synthetic Pokemon, but honestly, it's just a chimera. It was created by Faba and the Aether Foundation, and its codename was the Beast Killer, and the Pokemon was developed with cells from every known Pokemon type. Basically, they tried making another Arceus, and they kind of succeeded, since that helmet it wears is meant to suppress its power to stable levels. It's basically the Nephilim of Pokemon. You know Jack from Supernatural, how overpowered he was? Yeah, that's Type Null, but in the Pokemon universe. This guy is so crazy overpowered without that helmet that they added blades that will cut your whole damn hand off if you try to take it off. I wouldn't be surprised if the helmet blades start spinning if you get too close, okay? Like, Jesus. Finally, in at number 1, White Kyurem and Black Kyurem. Last part we had Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem on the list, but we didn't have the fusion forms of White and Black Kyurem. These monsters were absolutely terrifying. First we got White Kyurem. We get some additional icy detail on the legs, a tail very similar to the absolute dump truck that Reshiram has, but looking even more like a cannon this time around. Like if Kyurem and Reshiram had an armored child that was hellbent on destroying the world, that's all I can say. Then we got Black Kyurem. This dude has the same features but with a more aggressive stance, with wings up on his back and those teeth looking ready to tear me apart at any minute. His arms are huge, like Popeye had a baby with just a geode, and he could just crush me. I can't even fathom the sheer terror I feel when looking at these Pokemon. I don't know why I didn't include them sooner. This is just pure horror. Horror in its finest form. No thank you. You think Pokemon is a kid's game? Try again.
In 10, the Night of Lightning. The gates are sealed. The attackers have retreated, mostly. There are a few stragglers left who wish to see their kingdom burn. They think they can be a hero. They think they'll save their kingdom. Pathetic. Their kingdom is ours and shall remain as such for eternity. The storms here are common, even more common than a battle in a tavern. However, the wonder of this village is at its end. We've had fun, but I think it's time to take another and begin our reign over the regions. We have Unova, now time for another. Wait. Why did the storm just get worse? Just as I think that, I see it. The darkest shadow one could ever think of flying over the clouds. It's as dark as Darkrai, but not him. I see a faint amount of blue shining through the clouds. It's almost like a god. And then you hear it. You have lost your way. Return to your righteous path or face annihilation. It's as if it just spoke to our brains. We look at each other and everyone else heard the same. We will fill this land with our righteous fury, I cry at the beast. That was the wrong idea. It started. The lightning. It came down as if on its own, with the fury of 100,000 men. Every time a bolt vanished, another one came down, as if God had started to eviscerate the human race. However, all around us, the world was normal. It was a bright and sunny day, but not over us. As my men fell, I see him descend. Zekrom. And a 9 demise. It's only happened once, the evisceration of the Kalos region. It happened oh so long ago that I don't even think the elders remember, but I do. I am not like most elders. I am AZ, and I remembered when the legendary Pokemon Yveltal finished its first life cycle. It's unknown when it was born or created, but when it was finished with this mortal plane, it didn't go quietly. The destruction was vast, and the casualties greater than even the Pokemon War which occurred after. Kalos, the region which this Pokemon called home, was destroyed, leveled by what can only be described as a catastrophic event. The death of this Pokemon sucked the life out of the region, as if the region sacrificed itself in order to preserve the Pokemon. Yveltal was saved and created a cocoon of sorts that acted as a shield for the coming few thousand years, until one group, known as Team Flare, decided that disturbing the Pokemon that caused the end of the region was a good idea. Of course, they didn't know about the evisceration, they only thought those were stories, but alas, I wait for the destruction of the region once more. And if Yveltal won't do it, I'll do it myself. If you guys are enjoying the video, be sure that you hit that like button because it really helps us out and lets us know what you want to see more of. Thanks. And it ate Quake. The ground shook beneath my very feet. This wasn't uncommon for Hoenn. Thanks to the legends, however, it always made us worry that the legendary Groudon would rise again. The ground trembles once more. This is more than just an ordinary aftershock. Something's wrong. I rush outside and see the storm forming. It's like the old legend. I grab my coat and head to the den, where there are officers set up preventing entry. I guess this is no mere storm, and the legend is true. The legendaries Groudon and Kyogre will rise again. They start evacuating once they hear the roar. The sound is amplified because of the cave, and then we hear another roar coming from behind us in the ocean. They usher us out of the city, leaving behind everything we own, and getting as many as possible onto Route 24. For a minute, the downpour stops. This makes people think that it's safe, and despite the police doing their best to hold them back, a man begins to return to his home. That's when Groudon bursts out of the ground, dropping a boulder on him. That's the day we left Red Hill City, and the last day that it was left standing.
And it's 7 Regigigas. Another Reggie on this list? Yes. Why? Because Regigigas is meant to be the master of the legendary titans. Being a normal type, that's pretty impressive since nobody really cares about the normal types. Sorry, but it's true. One ghost type with fighting moves and you're good for the gym. But this guy, just look at him. Which ones are his eyes? Are they the black dots in the center or the colored ones to either side? I don't know. This guy is a beast. Sure, he has a slow start, but this man is 12 feet tall and just under 1,000 pounds, so he will crush you with even the slightest bit of pressure. He could flick you and you would be able to meet Deoxys. I'm telling you, you don't want this guy on your bad side. And considering how you can only wake him up if you have all the other Reggies, dude, holy crap, that's some serious aura energy. While he may not be the most obviously scary Pokemon, him being the leader of all the legendary titans, he can send them all after you. One wrong move and you're toastier than my morning sandwich. Okay, not really, but that's only because I don't eat breakfast. And it's because of this guy.
And at 6, good night. I used to have trouble sleeping. I tried all that I could. Sleeping pills, NyQuil, more pills. I even tried Pokemon, but even Jigglypuff couldn't put me to sleep. But then I found her, Meloetta. Meloetta is like my soulmate. We work together in harmony. She helps put me to sleep, and I help her with her mission. Everyone is sound asleep now. They were all having such a hard time. With the sun out, it's nearly impossible to sleep. But now, they can all sleep for as long as they want. Meloetta helps me sleep. She sings to me. It's like everything is a dream. Such a perfect life. Singing and sleeping is essentially the life of my dreams. Halfway through at number 5, Shadow Lugia. Shadow Lugia is a Lugia corrupted by the criminal organization Cypher. Shadow Lugia is also believed to be the ultimate shadow Pokemon immune to purification. This is evident from its appearance, which is different to normal Lugia, something that is unique to this legendary, since all of the shadow or corrupted Pokemon possess a shadowy aura instead. Shadow Lugia appeared in the game Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, where it picks up a whole cruise ship, the SS Libra, and drops it in the desert, allowing Cypher to capture all the Pokemon on board. That's crazy. This is one of the scariest things ever. If the character of Professor Crane hadn't made the Purify Chamber in that game, Lugia would have been lost forever, and been an evil and terrifying looking Pokemon. You have to agree with me that Shadow Lugia is terrifying, but there are a couple more that make things even worse. And at 4, the fire. It was late, probably around 2 in the morning. The thunder was cracking, the lightning was flashing blue, and we saw a figure fly overhead. When it flew over the brass tower, that's when it caught. The fire spread quickly, despite the rain we thought would prevent it. My dear friends were inside, Sparky, Rainer, and Pyro. They loved to play in that tower, jump from post to post, battling and training themselves just for fun. I never thought it was an issue, but when the fire spread down, they were goners. Rainer tried to protect them. Sparky even took a lightning bolt for them, but nothing worked. Even Pyro stood in the flames and tried to absorb them. Nothing. Luckily, Ho-Oh had a spot for them in his plane, and now whenever I see one of the legendary beasts, I smile and shed a tear for the boys I lost oh so long ago. Perhaps, after the plug is pulled, I'll be with them once more.
Number 3, Genesect. Genesect is a bug and steel type mythical Pokemon who is more than 300 million years old. It was believed extinct but was resurrected from a fossil. Originally, this was one of the most feared Pokemon in existence when it roamed the earth, and upon reviving it, Team Plasma attempted to make it the strongest Pokemon again, giving it cybernetic enhancements to make it even more powerful. It basically looks like a robotic bug that can walk on hind legs with a giant blaster on its back that looms over its head, pointing directly at you if you were standing in front of it. Definitely something to be scared of. Mech bugs. Not about it.
And at 2, Framed. Officer, I swear I didn't do it. I wasn't even in Nimbasa City last week. I've been in Castelia City for the past month doing my research. What, filling up that Pokedex? You seem to have the Pokemon that appear after Mistralton, which means you have to have had passed through Nimbasa. Why would you go back? Because I missed stuff. Come on, there has to be an explanation for this. There is. You did it. We caught you on the cameras, you monster. What do you mean monster? Here, look at this and then tell me that's not you. It may look like me, but it's not. What do you think? Arceus just created another version of you to tear that old man apart? No, it wouldn't have been Arceus. What about the unknown? They were safe in Relic Castle. What about the Weather Trio? Unaccounted for, but we know it's not them. How? They don't have this kind of ability. What about a Ditto? A Ditto wouldn't be able to do that to a human. This was animalistic. How do you not remember? What if it was Zoroark? We hadn't considered that. Well, we can't have you blabbing now, can we? The illusion fades as Zoroark steps out from the shadows and reveals the bloody stained claws of the one, the only, Arceus. Finally, in number 1, Dream of Darkness. It started as sleep paralysis. It's a fairly common phenomenon, at least for me, when your mind wakes up but your body doesn't, and you're conscious and can see around you but can't move. Some people also have a blind spot while this happens, and most people believe it to be their sleep paralysis demon, since it can look like a person, but mine didn't. Mine looked odd. It had legs, but they were long and pointed. The arms were similar in a way, with wide hands thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. It had what looked like smoke coming off its shoulders, and the hair was similar. It stood there staring at me, like most sleep paralysis demons do, but then it started moving. It reached out a hand, and I watched it grab my face, as if trying to wake me up, but instead I fell back asleep. It fades to black and I'm back in my room. The demon is gone and I can finally move. It's still dark out, but my clock says 11 a.m. Concerned, I walk down the stairs and call out to my parents, asking them what's going on. They say nothing, so instead I call out to my sister. Nothing again. When I get down, I see why they didn't call. They were what can only be described as spread out across the room. The ceilings and walls were red and their heads were all removed. I close my eyes and I'm back in my room. The demon is gone and I can finally move. It's still dark out, but my clock says 11 a.m.